This is Sheldon Nesdale from iamlistening.co.nz. A question that I'm getting asked quite a bit at the moment is just why are we facing such large increases to our rates? So that's what this video is set out to kind of explain. So the place to start is on the Tauranga City website, and go over to Council, Long-Term Plans. Long-Term Plan is just here, the current period. So you can download the consultation document. So it's about 60 pages, so it's quite abbreviated. If you really want the nitty-gritty, then there's the supporting information section over here that not many people have kind of spotted, and so that one's about 700 pages long, but it really gives you some pretty in-depth information. So that's the place to go. So let's jump into this document. So the place to start is just with this proposal. So here we go. Propose to increase our rates for this current year by 9.7%. and the following year 8.1% and then 8.6%. Here's just a different way of seeing that in a visual form, so you can see those increases kind of piling up. So basically the total rates requirement is the total amount of money that the council needs to run year to year divided by the number of households, and that gives us the rates revenue, and that gives us our the rates that we pay at a household level. And so that's how it's going over the next 10 years forecast. Right, so let's have a look at why this is the case, why these increases seem to be so big. And that's because of these 5 key challenges that the city is facing right now. The first one of those is moving around the city. You've probably experienced this yourself in terms of traffic congestion. So that's a big one that the council was planning to tackle. And so that could take the form of additional roads, but public transport is going to be a big part of that. And there's another link to the cycling strategy there as well, so that's going to be a big part of that. So buses and maybe transit lanes and cycling and public transport, so that's the strategies there. Number 2, resilience. So that's another big one. It's about keeping us safe and ensuring our communities and economy can thrive. So Tauranga being where it is, we've kind of got a unique combination of threats that some other New Zealand cities might not have so much. So every city in New Zealand's kind of earthquake prone, so that's a kind of a given there. And then we've got the sea level rise, because we're a coastal city. We've got that happening slowly or quickly over the next 10, 20, 50 years. And because lots of our communities are low-lying, that's a threat to us. Tsunamis, it's one-off events from earthquakes in different parts of the ocean and causing giant waves that might get up onto our land. Flooding's another big one that you've probably experienced firsthand. And we have these massive storms coming through and causing a lot of havoc. So severe weather events and land slippage as well. So there's 2 kind of outcomes from those extreme events. So resilience is about understanding those hazards and building up resilience, making sure that we can kind of get through these without loss of life, without loss of property, you know. So number 3 there is increased environmental standards. So this is becoming more and more part of government, central government and local government kind of minds and individuals as well. It's about climate change and what's that, the impact of that having on our lives. And so that's what this section's about. It's about recognising that threat and doing what we can to care for the environment. 4th one there is land supply and urban form. So, you know, Tauranga is in pretty hot demand for people wanting to move here and live here. So there's 2 strategies there. There's the greenfield side of it, and so that's the new suburbs being built, and also increasing the density of our existing suburbs. So that's more people moving into our older suburbs with older infrastructure, fresh water, storm water, wastewater. The technology is old, so we need to upgrade some of those suburbs to handle a larger population. So that's kind of a dual strategy there. Number 5, ensuring our community's well-being. So this is a really big section actually. So here's just 5 kind of circles explaining what this actually means. So social equity, that's about ensuring that everybody has access to the right resources, including housing, and so they can participate in the community. Community pride and belonging, so that's about heritage and cultural diversity, making people feel like they belong here. Healthy and active communities, that's about physical activity and access to health services. Safe and resilient communities, that's about people feeling safe in their homes, in the neighbourhoods and in public places. And engagement and partnerships, that's about tangata whenua, having input and two-way conversations with our communities so we can understand their needs better. So that, as you can see, this is a really big section and really important. So these are the big 5 challenges that are feeding into our rates increases at the moment. So if you want to put downward pressure on these rates, at some level you've got to decide which of these we prioritise lower. So which one are you going to cut out? So that's the challenge that's at Council right now. How do we decrease the rates increases? What do we have to cut out of the budget? So that's some pretty hard decisions to make. And so I hope that helps. That's the end of this section. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an answer to that question, why are we facing such large rates increases? So I hope that's answered that question. So my name's Sheldon Nesdale. My website is imlistening.co.nz, and on there you'll find other videos like this teaching you different concepts about Tauranga City Council. Cheers.